Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor of urbanpitch.com, co-executive directors of Vibes, Julio Monterosa, Brigitte Flores in the building. Another solo episode to start off the year. What's going on, y'all?
Woo woo!
Stop smoking.
Where did that come from?
I
just think it's
he just has, the dumbest thoughts,
ideas.
and they
He's-
just come out.
What a good commercial, nostalgic commercial.
I never wanted to smoke after I saw that commercial.
right.
I had my first cigarette last year
Your first ever.
with Gina.
Ooh.
Shout out Gina.
Last year, meaning
Last
like,
year, literally,
like 2 weeks
For
ago.
real. He posted it on Instagram and everything.
I remember this.
Speaking of
Could
New
not be
Year
me.
and some resolutions, y'all are on dry January.
Woo woo.
How's that been? It's what, the 18th today? This will come out on Tuesday, the 22nd?
Third.
23rd. How has it been so far?
New
Any
year,
temptations?
new year, new me. It's like it's giving. What is alcohol? What is tequila? What is that? I don't know. What are shots? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll come revisit this statement when
In a
summer
month.
hits. Yeah,
JK. No, but I think we haven't seen each other, so I think
That's
the
what-
temptation
yeah.
is not there because we haven't hung out.
But I've been around like Roy, John, Gina,
Okay.
and they've been golfing. We've been golfing, and they had like alcohol.
I will say John confirmed yesterday that Julio did not drink, so we didn't trust him. The sources have
Right.
confirmed he did not, in fact, drink. So I
You
guess
don't have
he's
to trust
good.
me. I know me and my God know everything.
So, God's watching.
They didn't believe in us.
God did.
I didn't believe in you, but
You didn't. We didn't. We
yeah,
didn't.
Who
you
did?
know, Yeah.
God did.
Yeah, but I mean, shouts to you guys. I mean,
Yeah, honestly, it feels good. I think it's just like something that I kind of wanted / needed, physically, mentally, needed to kind of like take a break. We were going a little too hard, and I like to enjoy our social gatherings, but I don't know, it's just becoming a lot. So taking a break feels good, feels nice, and it allows me to like focus on other things. And I've also been around, like I've gone to like a friend's birthday party and like
Yeah, I didn't trust you because I saw you with a cup. I was like, Bridget for show drank.
where
For your Friday. Yeah, Friday.
Oh,
That
with
was
the
lean.
wine glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was lean.
That was for just for the aesthetics of the picture. No, we got there and I
I
ordered.
don't know about
I-
that.
Yeah.
That sounds a little
I-
sketchy.
no, I
Dry
swear-
January.
We're worried about Julio.
Look,
Dry
if
January.
you-
Give me a Sauvignon Blanc.
If
Yeah.
you zoom into the picture, the wine glass is clear because I didn't touch it. I didn't drink out of it. I ordered a non-alcoholic drink.
It was a dry wine. That's
It-
what it was. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
dry
it counts.
January.
Yeah, no, so
it
it's a dry
technically
rosé.
counts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Dry,
yeah.
dry is dry.
Yeah.
No, I didn't drink.
Shout out to you, Dries.
I went to my cousin's house and
What does that even mean?
anyway,
People doing Dry January.
I bought non-alcoholic drinks to feel a part of the
Okay.
social setting. So shout out to the non-alcoholic
Like
drinks.
non-alcoholic beer or like
Non-alcoholic
soda?
beer.
Okay.
It was
Oh
like
my
an
God.
IPA,
Uh-huh.
but it was
So it was
literally
like a
non.
0%.
Yeah, it's basically
They've been
water.
coming out
So
with
that
a lot
means you
more.
like the taste of alcohol.
You like it.
I don't like
No,
it.
it's not that I like the taste. It's just like in a social gathering like that, like everyone
don't
was
want to have a
drinking,
Sprite?
and I just didn't. I just wanted to like not be tempted, and I wasn't tempted, but it felt cool to just have something for myself. You know,
wanna be pure- you were
I just
pure
want to be a part of the vibe.
The trick is to go to the bar, order ginger ale.
Ginger ale is nice.
Yeah,
It looks like you're drinking, but you're not.
makes
Or
sense.
they do bitters and soda.
Or drink water
Yeah.
and say no.
Yeah.
Or don't go out at all.
Or stay home and read.
All right.
Books? Y'all reading? Y'all
Take it. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm telling you, this year is
Okay.
different. We're starting on a different type of level. We're not drinking. We're reading. We're listening to podcasts. We're meditating. We're running. We're playing soccer. We're exercising. It's all in there.
Okay. So we got to keep this going from January to December
Yeah.
because I know at the gym, when I go to the gym, there's a lot of people with that same mentality, you know,
Yeah.
that are taking up a lot of space. And I'm all for it, you know, do your thing. But I just hope that you stay there for the rest of the year. Whereas I know by February, it's going to be a little bit empty in there. Yeah,
yeah.
But, you know, like.
Well,
we
shout
got-
out
we
to
gotta keep that
everyone
going.
trying.
Yeah, for sure.
And-
Yeah, I'm trying to like around February, second week of February. They have a Mark Anthony concert
Yeah,
in the
low-key,
Yamava
me
Casino.
too.
Oh, no.
I'm
Oh,
about
no.
to Mark
Yeah.
Anthony that shit up.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. With the NFL playoffs right around the corner and the NBA season in full swing, BetOnline has you covered with all the up-to-the-second odds, news, and scores. With additional odds, lines, trends, and info on both desktop and mobile, you can access the world's best wagering information anytime. Head there today to get into the action and see all the updated odds. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
February 10th, I might have to pause on the non-drinking because it's my cousin's baby shower. So
Well, we gotta learn.
It's a baby shower. I gotta get up. We gotta get up. It's a baby shower.
hey, we're celebrating life.
Mexicans. Oh yeah, baby shower.
Dude,
Let's get drunk.
No, my cousin, the first thing that they bought was 12 packs of Modelos.
Wow.
So
Why
they're
don't they just get more like the big
20,
size?
yeah,
or
24
12,
packs.
24 packs. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they have stacks of cases of Modelos ready for
stacks
the
on
baby
stacks
shower.
on
Like that was the
stacks.
priority for them.
Yeah.
Now we're
And
working
then
on
they
the
get
cups.
gifts and
yeah,
then the
the
decorations.
gifts. Exactly.
First things first, you gotta get
First thing is the drinks.
Right,
Second
libations.
is everything else.
My question is, where do you go from here? For those kids, like what do you do for a second birthday? Like,
No, this is a baby shower. He's
I
not
know-
even born yet.
I know
So-
when my brother's son's first birthday, we had like
Oh my.
1942 bottles, Clase Azules. I'm like, dude, like the kid was asleep by
We
7.
went out after
I mean, it's for
too.
the- it's
I
for-
didn't.
it's for the
Y'all went out
parents.
after.
It's for the parents.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
The
We're
first birthday,
celebrating-
Kid's not gonna remember. You know, they just want to have a
Is
party.
what it means is 9 months of not seeing your homies, not be able to drink with your friends, and
Right.
now it's like,
One
all right,
last time.
one last time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So new year, new things.
We'll see how it goes. We'll
A
do
brewing.
monthly check-ins, see how we're all doing.
Yeah.
February, Urban Pitch is trying to plan a trip already.
I know.
Man, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, a little hit the slopes.
Go shred.
You know,
I'm
we'll
a
see.
whole Julio photo shoot time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
don't,
Julio's just there for the vibes.
Right.
but do not snowboard at all.
He rents. He gets the rental.
He holds it.
He holds it up and then
Put
he gives
the-
it back.
yeah.
So, yeah. I'm
Doesn't
good.
touch him though.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, you know, that's just influencer life.
Shout out to me.
Okay,
It's
so
Julio.
let's get into today's episode because there's obviously a lot to talk about. This is our third solo episode.
Solo
in a row.
dolo.
Not by choice.
I mean, yeah, I mean, sure, but I mean, we have some guests in the
Nothing
pipeline,
wrong with being
but yeah,
solo.
yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Shout out to the
but
dating apps.
today, the biggest news today is the World Cup final was announced, the final venue for 2026, and I don't know if it wasn't officially announced by FIFA, but there's been confirmations on various social media platforms,
Multiple outlets.
Yeah, from some respected sources that we're going to get the final in Dallas, which is what we kind of expected once LA was ruled out.
Sad.
And I mean, I saw it, I was expecting it, but that didn't take away the kind of disappointment that I felt. I don't know, how did you guys feel about seeing the news?
It kind of hurts because it's like it could have been here and it's not. Now it's there, and like that's not too far of a stretch from us, but that could have been us. That could have been LA.
But it's nobody's fault but the people that build SoFi. Knowing all this, knowing all this is coming up, knowing the potential of a World Cup coming here, you couldn't see the regulations, and it goes back to Americans not caring about soccer. Like you built this $5-point-something billion
Right.
stadium without thinking,
considering
like
other sports.
yeah, like soccer, like hosting the biggest tournament in the world or hosting a big soccer tournament in the world. It's just Americans being Americans.
I agree with you, and I think if we were a serious soccer country, which is kind of like an ongoing joke, then SoFi would have been built with soccer in mind. But still, like even if you throw LA out, like putting it in Dallas, I just don't know. Like Dallas, like I mean, this is a World Cup final we're talking about. I mean, it's the fourth most populous city in the U.S., which is that's pretty significant.
there.
But I don't feel like it's like a significant
Soccer.
U.S. city that like I don't know what is Dallas famous for. Like what I've been to Dallas and it's a nice city. It's great, but like what is Dallas known for? Like
Bachelorette parties.
I don't know. That's like Austin though. That's not
Oh,
even, you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
Like
I should have been in Austin. Austin was fun.
yeah, like
Oh,
like
you were.
like JFK was shot there. You know, like I mean,
shout out to JFK.
Yeah, by who? You know, we can get into that later, but you know,
Should have did the little.
I don't know. I don't know. Like it just doesn't seem like. And then there's also the fact that public transportation isn't a big thing. It's not a big thing pretty much anywhere in the U.S., but especially in Dallas. Like I saw someone say that there are no public transportation options from the Dallas Fort Worth Airport to the stadium.
Ooh. And I heard
it's like a 15-minute drive,
yeah.
but still. There's no, like, you can't take a bus or, you know what I mean? Like, and I looked it up on Apple Maps and you can't. Like, it's wild.
In 2 years, it's going to change.
Right. I mean, it could.
Those changes were already happening in LA for so much that coming in the future. So,
but for the Olympics opposed to, like, a World Cup.
Yeah. So they could certainly implement some kind of infrastructure and create, some kind of rail line. Or, with a event of this magnitude, plus with a lot of people going to go to New York, Miami, Atlanta, maybe even LA if LA hosts cities. People are going to be traveling a lot. So it's like it's not like people are just going to go to Dallas, which credit to Dallas for having the stadium, right? I mean, AT&T Stadium, Jerry World is massive. It's it has the facility is fit for a World Cup final. So shouts to them for that. But I mean, like, I don't know, like, even Miami, even Atlanta, even, I mean, obviously New York, I just feel like have more, they're just known, like.
Dallas doesn't come to mind when you think of a World Cup final. Yeah,
and maybe they're going to do a good job. Maybe they're going to put together a great package. But from right now, just seeing that it's in Dallas, like, I don't know, like, what would be, like, the equivalent? Like, let's say, I mean, because it could even been in Mexico at the Azteca,
We're selling them short, though, just because, like, how rich that Dallas community is with soccer. They have the best academy. They've hosted the one of the biggest youth tournaments.
Right.
Dallas Cup. They for sure love and have passion for the game.
Right. I'm not talking about from a soccer perspective.
But I'm saying, like, if we go on, like, they're probably the best city to host that World Cup just because of their soccer accomplishments and what they contributed to U.S. soccer. Eight of the players right now in the national team are coming from that Dallas Academy. Okay. So even though we do hate it just because we're LA, we're New York, we're big cities, forget them.
Forget about it.
Cowboys.
It's not even the fact because I mean Dallas is a big city. It's the fourth biggest city in the U.S. after Chicago.
But like three, but they're not known for fun or nightlife.
It's not known as like a hub of like someone like,
I'm
going to the U.S. If you're like living in England or France or Australia Dallas or wherever, anywhere, like I'm going to the U.S. Is Dallas even on the list of cities that you're going to visit? I don't know.
Yeah, but I'll say like going to like 2018 Russia World Cup if I want to win. I don't know none of the cities. I don't know like
that's different.
Okay,
that's a whole country.
I just know but the same thing.
Here's the thing. You were asking like what's the equivalent of like a
what's
city
the Dallas in
Mexico, right? Yeah. Funny you asked because I was actually very curious about that and I looked it up and apparently Monterrey, Mexico, and Dallas are known as sister cities since like 1988 because of like I don't know what, like cultural and economic development. I mean,
you see what happens when you don't drink? You just know random facts.
You know what I'm saying?
You spend
I'm out here like,
she spends
let me know about Monterrey
on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't drink today, so what can I do? Search stuff.
Hey, Urban Pitch's Snapple fact of the day.
Fun fact, Bridget's Corner turned into fun facts. No, but yeah, and so apparently they're like sister cities and they've been known as like sister cities. And it's also like one of the, I think the third or fourth like most like populous and like one of the biggest metro areas in Mexico. They also have apparently a big fan base for Dallas Cowboys in Monterrey. And then in Dallas, they have a big fan base of Tigres and Monterrey soccer team. So there's like that equivalent of the two of them. But if you think about it, when you think about like in a city in Mexico hosting the World Cup, I think for me it would be like either Ciudad Mexico, Guadalajara,
Azteca, OmniLife,
right? At the Azteca,
and then maybe
Monterrey.
Maybe Monterrey's like
Puebla
the fourth.
Stadium as well.
You know, like Monterrey doesn't come to the top of mind if I had to like make a list of cities that host the World Cup final in Mexico.
If
So
I'm not mistaken, their stadium is
the
amazing.
That's the one with the view of the mountains.
You see the view of the
Yeah.
mountains. Like that
Yeah.
would be my top choice if I went to Mexico.
Yeah,
just to the
but
view.
like just naming a city.
Yeah.
You don't
But
name
the city,
Monterrey
not the
as
stadium,
the city,
you
not
know?
the stadium, right? The city itself. Like I think that's what would be an equivalent to say, to come back to the conversation we're having. It's literally that. Like Dallas isn't the first city you're going to name drop when you're thinking about a World Cup final in the U.S. Like maybe, yeah, and like we go to Russia, we don't know the cities out there, but
You know,
Dallas,
Moscow, and that's where the
Yeah.
final was in Moscow. you know?
Exactly,
The
but
thing-
you don't think of Dallas as that.
Actually, I don't know
name.
if the final was in Moscow. I'm just assuming it is.
But the
I'm
thi-
pretty
Oh no
sure.
no! Was it?
I don't know. I have
The-
no idea. I'm just saying things.
But the-
I just thought
the-
of Moscow because
Mule. Oh no.
sorry, no.
it's not
Thiago
February yet.
Silva. No, because Thiago Silva went to play there.
Right.
I
Yeah.
was
you
just
watched the
watching
captains.
Captains.
Yeah. That was fire.
I got time now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, going back to what the facts that you said, like, it just shows how much soccer history, like, Dallas has. So if you were to
It's
give
like
a
under.
yeah, like if you would give a city that World Cup, somebody that has provided so much for U.S. soccer, if you're a U.S. soccer buff, you know that how important Dallas is to the U.S. soccer space. So of course, but if we want to go city, like top cities in the U.S., that's not going to be a name. But if you're a soccer person that loves U.S. soccer, you know how important Dallas is to U.S. soccer.
Yeah. So I
And they have Clint Dempsey. Don't tread on this.
right. Okay. So, but is he from? He's from
Houston.
Houston. He's from Houston. Yeah.
My bad, Clint.
Wrong.
H-Town. He's with So
Don't tread on this.
I agree with you. I think it's sneaky, like one of the most culturally significant soccer cities in the U.S. when it comes to all the things that you were talking about, the Dallas Cup, FC Dallas's academy. That's produced a lot, like Wes McKinney, Tyler Adams. No, Tyler Adams was New York.
I don't know if it was Sargent. It's like 4 or 5.
Kellen
Kellen
came
Lacosta.
through there.
Kellen was out
Pepe obviously, and Ferreira. But I'm talking from like, so it's cool that maybe that will be put on a highlight reel for maybe people who don't know,
Advertisement.
like people
In
who are
that
coming
stadium-
from other countries that are going to be coming to Dallas and be like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of Walmarts here, maybe I don't know what else, but okay, maybe
Moonshine.
what is there to learn? Maybe we can
That's
talk
what comes
about
with
Bro,
talk
I've
about
been
the soccer
trying to
culture
go to
that's
a
here.
hoedown.
I mean, you can go to those anywhere. You can go to those in Fullerton. You know what I mean? So first
Shout
off, the
out-
2018,
Shout out to them down assholes.
yeah, 2018 final was in Moscow, by the way.
Okay,
But
okay.
There you
There
go.
we
Well,
go.
as you would expect, right?
Right.
If someone you knew was coming to visit the United States, and they're like, okay, I'm going to spend a month in the U.S. I want to visit 5 cities. You can't say Dallas is one of the
But-
5 cities that you're going to tell them to visit.
But the U.S., like, it ain't like these other countries, to be honest. Like, we can do any event anywhere in the U.S., and they still be a popping like they'll have music, they'll have a nightlife, and if they don't, pretty sure they're gonna create these hole in the walls.
Yeah,
and it's
I'm sure there's a lot of stuff to do in Dallas. Dallas is a major city. It's a major U.S. city. But my argument is that it's not significant in the fact that from a tourism perspective, from like a place to visit perspective, like there's nothing that stands out to me. Even having been to Dallas, they got good food. They have great barbecue there. It's nice. There's things to do in Dallas. I'm just saying
it's a scary place though. Open carry. Be careful to all these
Here's
people
the
coming
thing.
in.
Here's the thing. You were just saying this about Mexico and the stadiums. That's also to say because Mexico is a big soccer country. Like their stadiums are meant for soccer games, soccer
so they're major
experiences.
cities. Yeah.
You look at the U.S. and we don't have that. So the city that they're hosting at least has to have something to bring in people to
But-
even
but-
want to consider to come watch a World Cup final.
But all right, all right,
like-
yeah. But that stadium, if that Dallas stadium, the Casa Cowboys, has a rich like pre-game spot before going to the Dallas game. So if you give a city that has something to do prior to games, we talked about this. I went to the Austin soccer stadium. There's nothing to do around there.
Yeah.
At least when you go to Dallas, you have that big stadium that is known to have host week after week these big crowds of people.
Yeah. So it basically boils down to this, right? the cities that you would think would be the hosts for the World Cup, right? Top 3, LA, New York, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago is not even hosting any. They did not put their name in because hosting World Cup games is just too much of a
hassle. They're still
hassle.
constructing
Right.
the beam.
And they got O Block out there.
Right.
I don't want to go there.
LA, we can't even
Chirac.
we can't even make a stadium that's fit for a World Cup final. Out of the question. New York, their stadium's in New Jersey, so
They're out of space.
there's no
Yeah.
stadium in New York that's fit. You know what I mean? So, like Julio, I think you said it. This is probably the best option.
It is.
You know, from and that reflects on American soccer culture.
Right.
And I mean, the other options, I think Atlanta and Miami are
Atlanta
both
for sure. Atlanta.
really.
They have to have at
Atlanta
least
could have been,
semifinals.
Miami could
Miami's new stadium is not up yet. They're playing in the college bleachers.
Right. Yeah. They'll play in like probably Dolphin Stadium. I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
Dolphin Stadium is fit for that, but I think that's where the games are going to be hosted at the World Cup. So, like you said, I think it's not a fault on them picking Dallas because Dallas is probably our best option.
Yeah.
Just the weather's gonna suck.
And the what I think it's Dome Stadium. I think.
Oh,
I
right.
think it's an indoor stadium. I think.
I think
for the fans.
Yeah.
what Julio is like getting to is just the fact that like I think what this whole conversation is getting to is the fact that bigger picture, U.S. needs to step it up and needs to like recognize or at least give more recognition to the soccer culture, the soccer fans, the soccer enthusiasts that are out here, and start recognizing the opportunities that we have to host World Cup finals, to host big soccer games. And obviously we don't have that, so Dallas is what it is. And now they're gonna have to work around, okay, well, what do we bring for the soccer culture?
But also give Dallas its flowers. Dallas has been holding down soccer for the U.S. for a while. So, like, I get it as we're spoiled L.A. people that we expect everything to happen here. But at the end of the day, if we got to give people their flowers, Dallas has to deserve its flowers. So this World Cup final, it shows how much work they put in this soccer space for U.S. soccer. So
I think
even though,
this is what it's gonna get.
I mean, the soccer thing to me, that's not the point. The point is, you're going to Dallas. What's one thing that you want to go see in Dallas?
the cowgirls.
Exactly. You know, like I don't know. I don't know if it's Chicago. I want to go see. You know, I want to have deep dish pizza. I want to. Like Atlanta. I want to go to Magic City. You know, like at least there's
the wings.
For the wings. But I mean, there's at least one thing that you could point out to, whether it's
Dallas
Philadelphia, whether it's Miami, whether it's Boston, whether it's I mean, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle.
We're gonna have to go and find out. Like, but I'm saying, like, if we go just on deserving cities, Dallas deserves it.
Yeah.
Dallas deserves it.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, whether we think they are in the middle of nowhere, Dallas deserves it just for the simple reason, like going back to that, they have been holding down U.S. soccer for a while. So with new talent coming out, just the way they've done things, they've done everything right, and they will deserve just because LA, we fumbled the ball.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good place to end. Let's move on.
It is what it is. Dallas better bring it, because
they better bring
if
it.
we pull up, I need to have some entertainment out there.
I think it'll be okay. I think they'll do a good job. Hopefully.
Overall, I think it is cool to just know that we're gonna host the World Cup final in the U.S.
Yeah.
I guess that's to say something, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
LA better have a quarterfinals at least, though.
We
better have something.
We better have something.
Karen Bass said that we are hosting something, so
I know. I don't even.
Hopefully,
we're gonna have to drive to San Francisco.
Damn.
That's wild. I mean,
I'm not
we'll
trying
see.
to.
Hopefully we figure it out. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. To NWSL. NWSL draft was over the weekend. Over last weekend in Anaheim. Orange County.
Thanks for the invite, Ramsey.
TFTI.
Well, I didn't even go.
Listen, it was on a Friday.
I was at the coaches convention, and just
you wouldn't even coach.
most of the people there, a lot of people there.
Why were you there?
I mean,
and why weren't we there?
And dealing. I'm.
Damn,
you guys are dry January.
We don't get invited to the big stuff.
It's not even big. It's not even big.
We don't drink, and like, nah, you guys are useless.
Anything with the title that has more than 2 words, we're not allowed to go.
You're acting like this is the Met Gala, bro. It's a soccer coaches convention.
I'm waiting for my invitations to the Met Gala. I got some outfits.
So, so I was there. I almost went into the draft, but when they try to make me wait in line, I was like, okay, you know what?
You know who I am? I'm press.
I'll figure it out.
Right.
I can watch it
You
on my phone.
gonna hear about me?
Yeah,
But like being in these press boxes, like having to start name dropping the minute they don't let you in a place.
You know,
We learned that early in our
right. We did learn that early on.
in our press box.
I won't name any names, but one esteemed member of the soccer press was dropping names to get what he wanted in the press box,
And he got what he wanted.
And
so
then he ended up getting what he wanted. It was
owner this, owner that.
yeah.
Wow.
Do you know who I am? Like all that kind of stuff. But anyways,
Can't wait to get to that point.
we saw, it's obviously in comparison to MLS, NWSL draft is more of a bigger deal where the players are going to most likely contribute right away. It's more akin to what we see in the NBA, NFL, some of the more Americanized sports. But we're seeing that kind of switch where a lot of these U18 players are starting to get brought in the pipeline. We can talk about that in a little bit because there's a certain U18 player that made her way to Angel City. But Ali Settner, Savvy King, both North Carolina Tar Heels going
Top
1 and 2,
Mhm.
kind of crazy like that. But I mean, North Carolina, Stanford, along with Stanford, is probably the most prestigious women's soccer and soccer period programs in the country. But one name that I did see that I recognized and that I think is, I think she's like the 6th or 7th pick to Orlando, Rylan Turner. She's from UCLA. But she was more notable because she was the first Nike NIL athlete a few years back.
sign.
Once the NIL started, that they made her their first signing. Like more, I think even before the basketball players, I think they made her their first signing. I'm pretty sure.
That's dope.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't she train with Angel City? For preseason?
She could have. I think she might have.
There was a few UCLA players.
So with the rules changing, they can trial a lot of these different players. But speaking of Angel City, they didn't have a first or second round pick, but Felicia Knox was their 3rd round pick, midfielder, creative. I think she's box-to-box midfielder, a position that we need. And I think she was a little bit undervalued because she had a little bit of a down senior year compared to her junior year because, she had the big name and everybody was targeting her and double, triple teaming her. So I think I'm excited because Angel City, we talked about this, was it last week or the week before? We were kind of waiting for them to make some moves, and they made some moves. They drafted.
Re-signed everybody.
Yeah, I know. So they re-signed Clarice Lebihan. They re-signed, obviously we talked about Sarah Gordon and Madison Hammond. Danny Weatherholt, she's since signed with North Carolina. But I'm excited with these draft picks that we have. And then this new player that we brought in, Casey Fair, baller. Youngest player to play at the Women's World Cup with South Korea. Youth movement is real, and with Angel City now,
We're
3 teenagers on the roster, probably going to get
more
significant playing time. I'm excited to see what Giselle has in the tank. But what are your thoughts on the? Because we talked about it a little bit last season with Melanie. Barcenas on San Diego. Jaden Shaw, also a teenager. A lot of young players
coming in.
Coming in, making waves, playing
which is
at
kind
high
of crazy
levels.
To think. It's kind of crazy to think about how these young players, for example, Melanie and Jaden and even Alyssa Thompson, they already had a few games under their belt, and then we're seeing this NWSL draft bringing in new talent to these teams that are coming from college, Right. So I think it's really cool to see the evolution of being able to make it to become a pro soccer player. And we're seeing both of these worlds existing at once. It's exciting. It's exciting to see. I think Savvy King, seeing her go into college 6 months and then just throw herself into the, reign of, I'm going to just go shoot my shot and try to see where I get with this draft. And she got drafted as a number 2 pick. I think that's super dope to see. And I hope we continue to see it. And I'm really excited to see what the season comes with. And Bay FC is making moves. All these teams are just making moves. It's exciting to see all of the movement and the new players, the young players coming in. It's just, we're seeing the start of something the next Alex Morgan type of, generation.
Yeah.
Definitely. We got complacent in last World Cup, it showed. So now like the US is on this tear of finding new talent that can bring this golden era of US women's soccer that we just had, winning the amount of World Cups, winning the Olympic titles they won, and you can see the new talent is coming in. When it comes to Alyssa, you can see her first touch. It's not like the first touch. A lot of the times you go to go watch a women's play and you're like, why is the first touch so bouncy? But you can see like the level in women's soccer has gone up, and all this young talent is showing. All this talent is coming in, and they're better than some of these 10-year pros, and it's showing how much that the level in the women's game is increasing.
Yeah, and with Angel City and San Diego being particularly ahead of that curve with the amount of players, I'm excited to see that rivalry
Young versus
intensify.
young.
Right, exactly, right, because you have.
It might get to Instagram. I hate you.
Yeah, we got to keep Josh Giddey away from the NWSL teams because there's the amount of youth players that are making that, and to me, it was very surprising to see Alyssa Thompson play at the level she played at, because I thought there'd be a learning curve, but I mean, I think it was like 11 minutes into her game. Crazy.
We went to the first preseason game they had, and we talked about how like the minute her first touch, it just showed like
everything she
how
did.
crisp she was.
Yeah.
That first game, I still remember it to this day. Just like she was smooth. She was very smooth. She wanted to score from the as soon as she touched the ball, the pitch, like she was on fire.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine like what her sister's gonna bring, and then on the rival end, what Melanie's gonna bring this season, and then also Jaden Shaw and like Savvy King, like she was already killing it, where she was at, and now she's gonna come into the pro space and do her thing. Yeah. So I'm excited to see all that come together.
We have people still like Trinity, is going in her third year now, which is fourth year. So now she's a vet, and she's only like 23.
Yeah.
like this, the new class of this U.S. women's soccer team, this pool that's coming up is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
So much talent coming in every position, and it is great.
Yeah. I'm hyped for this upcoming season with the two new teams. A lot of new faces, a lot of returning faces. Hopefully we'll see Kristen Press back in action. Hopefully, maybe even Tobin Heath gets back out there. We'll see. We talked about Gotham FC a couple weeks back. The moves that they've been making. I mean, it's gonna be a wild season, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I think this year could be one of the more exciting years that the league has seen, especially with the two new players.
What are your thoughts on? Obviously, we don't know too much, but like, just what are your predictions for Bay FC?
I mean, from the way that they've been making moves so far, it seems like they are taking the San Diego perspective, or the San Diego approach, where they really want to build a solid team first, and they want to focus on the team. Whereas Angel City, because the two blueprints are there for them for expansion teams, and Angel City and San Diego both have been very successful in their own ways. And I think Bay is trying to kind of toe the line on both, but it seems like they're more geared towards what's going on the field for on-pitch success. So I think that they're going to have a pretty solid team. Obviously, Scarlett going there from Angel City was a big blow for us, but she's going to have a good fit there. I think
a bigger role.
Yeah.
Probably a bigger role. Actually, I don't know now with the amount of midfielders that we've lost, but I think they're going to have a solid team, it's hard to tell because you haven't seen them play yet, but from the way that they've been approaching things, it seems like they're doing it the right way. So I think they'll have a solid start to the season, like San Diego waved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just exciting because we've seen what a few new expansion teams have done, like on the MLS side and the NWSL side. So seeing another team come in this year, it's just exciting to see what are they going to bring, what is it going to look like, what are we going to have to witness this
and I think
year.
the bar has been raised now for expansion teams, whereas before it was like, okay, you maybe take 3-4
it's
seasons.
your first year.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. But I mean, what St. Louis did last year,
Killed it.
What Atlanta United did
in 2 seasons. Austin FC in their first year, even LAFC, and San Diego Wave is a prime example on the women's side that, you know what, you don't need 3-4 seasons to get the footing under you. If you have the right approach, if you have the right people in the talent scouting department, if you have people that are putting together like if the GM puts a cohesive, instead of just grabbing a bunch of players that are available, they have every single person has a role, every single person fits in the system, in the organization, then they're able to build a pretty coherent, capable team in just 1 year, even though they hadn't played together. So it's in a way it's a good thing, but in a way it's more pressure for these teams. But I think that they'll step up to it because there's a lot of money behind it. So I think that they'll be ready to go come opening day.
Exciting times.
Yeah,
we're going into it. More footy, more fun.
More footy, more fun. Shifting gears to the men's side of things, did you guys see Lionel Messi won FIFA Best Player of the Year for 2023?
Leo Messi.
Do you think? I mean, there's been a lot of backfire because he spent half of the year in MLS, which is not typically considered as a serious football league, and when it comes to the best in the world, and then that first half was with PSG, where winning the Ballon d'Or that counted the 2022-23 season, which included the World Cup. I mean, but his season with PSG was okay. It was fine. He came back from the World Cup a little. Maybe people argued that he wasn't as sharp as he was. Was he deserving of the FIFA Best Award, or is this just like we're going to give it to Messi because he's Messi?
Yeah.
He deserves it, not only because of that, probably not because of the game he played the year, but because of his career, and because a lot of players have been gotten taken away from they've just been stealing that trophy from a lot of great players. So just give it to in all across sports. I'm going back to Kobe. Kobe needed more MVP trophies.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
Staying on track.
He's giving all the excuses to this.
No,
lifetime achievement.
Right.
Basically
give him his lifetime achievement award. He deserves it.
You know what?
Give him every trophy, every cup. Messi is important.
A
give him a hug.
Participation trophy.
Another baby. 3 mistresses.
This is what I appreciate about Julio. Like, he's a Madrid fan, but he's a Messi lover.
I am a Messi. No, but yeah.
He's a Messi lover.
Yeah, I am. But the thing is, I'm a Madrid fan, but my favorite, and I've said it in this podcast plenty of times, Iniesta has been was my favorite player growing up.
Yeah.
Iniesta and Beckham. So that's why when how Galaxy did Beckham his first few years there, didn't rock with, but Iniesta and Beckham were always my 2 favorite players. Beckham just because of what he meant to the culture, and Iniesta because
Marcelo too, right?
Marcelo, yeah, Marcelo was my favorite player for the last 12 years. Just because I was in college, I was a outside back, and I believe that he changed the outside back game.
Right.
How now everybody has to have an attacking edge to their play. So, but growing up, it was always Beckham and Iniesta, but mostly Iniesta just because how smooth he was with the ball. But Messi is what soccer is. He knows how to play the game right. Even though he's a big star, he does look for the assist opposed to look for the goal. And I was never a scorer. I always took pride on giving a better assist than scoring a banger. So. Yeah, I just like Messi's game a little more.
Yeah, I think he deserves. Okay, here's
the best player of the 2023 calendar year.
Yes, he does.
I think he deserves a lifetime achievement award for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that exists, so I think that this is what he's getting for that. Do I think that
he's got enough awards though?
Do I think that? Well, the thing is that we are in a moment of time where it's Messi effect. So I feel like a lot of that credit in this went into that, just everything that has happened with Messi in the MLS and just all these Messi moves. I think that there was a lot of attention on him, and then coming from the World Cup final, obviously there's a lot of Messi activities going on. So I think people are still on that high. Do I think that he deserves
the best player in the world? Okay.
I don't think that he deserves it. Yeah. I think that Haaland definitely had. I think he could have won that. I would have, if I had to pick based on the 2023
calendar year football.
Exactly. Yeah. I would have probably picked Haaland.
But the global impact that Messi has done.
Yeah, but this isn't a global impact award.
I'm saying the U.S. now everybody's talking about U.S. soccer
Right.
because of the Messi effect.
Okay,
But
and
it's-
that's what I'm trying to get to, like where everyone is in that high, so then they associated this award to that. But if the definition of it was like stated there, it should have been to the player
just
that
plain-
credited that definition.
I don't think
It would have been Mbappe. Like
you can put Mbappe in there too.
Or Mbappe, one of the two.
So, like, I don't know what the exact criteria is for this award.
We should have had it and broken it
Yeah,
down.
we should have, but that's not us. Come on.
leave that for Taylor 12 man.
To say Messi was the best player in the world last year is kind of wild. I don't think, he's playing in MLS. Like
He's a GOAT, right? He's the
sure,
GOAT.
of course he is, and it's not like he needs this award. He's got plenty of awards in his career.
But
I
the
think
national,
if it was
the national team, their national team, not to like earlier this year, they did not lose a game.
How many games did he play with the Argentina national team in 2023? 10.
He was that best player in that team though.
I think it's a lifetime achievement award for someone who doesn't really need a lifetime achievement award.
Shout out to you, Messi.
Like if this was someone who maybe missed out on a few awards, that didn't really get his Ballon d'Or, or missed out on a couple years, got some bad luck, and they gave it to him, sure, fine. But I mean, this guy's he's got enough. Well, it gets too much.
How many more towers do you want from me, Kobe? More.
Yeah, right. Different animal,
Same feast.
Right.
Yeah.
Wild. So I wanted to leave us on one last thing. I don't know if you guys actually saw the clip, but it's been going around on social media. We're gonna close this out on a music note. On a cultural
Was it
note.
another part of history by LAFC?
No, not that.
Fortunately, they letting everybody
but
go.
Drake and Mos Def, there's been a little bit of back and forth between the two. Not really back and forth, but Mos Def had
have been
a
said.
clip on an interview that he did that's been it's literally all over my
Circling the
timeline.
medias.
Yeah, I can't go 5 seconds without seeing that interview.
Hip hop.
Is where he said Drake isn't hip hop. Drake is pop. He's a pop artist. He makes music to go shopping at Target for.
Right.
Technically,
he didn't say that he isn't. He just said
he's a pop artist.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, or do you think that that's a false statement?
I think Drake is hip hop and more. I wouldn't say he's not hip hop, because I think hip hop holds, in this point in time, I think hip hop holds a cultural sense to it beyond what it used to be. And I think Drake has that. Like, he's not just pop, he's not just R&B, he's not just hip hop. He's a mix of it all. And I think that that's who he is. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, is he better than other hip hop artists, that OG hip hop artists? Probably not. I don't think so. But he is deserving of being placed in that category, I would say.
If he is pop, wouldn't he be the king of pop?
That's still MJ.
But
so
he doesn't have the same amount of number one platinum.
And so this is where the conversation was heading, was where Mos Def was talking about when people talk about Drake, they talk about how great he is because of his sales, his number one charts, and all the numbers he does. Mm-hmm. That's like one of the biggest arguments for Drake being, one of the greatest artists of his generation.
Bro, album comes out and you get 30 Instagram posts saying
right
Drake lyrics.
So to me, Drake is a pop artist that makes music in hip hop style, like in hip hop style. So he's a pop artist,
originated from hip hop.
And then the Drake fans that got upset about this are a little bit insecure that they think that he's a hip hop artist, but they use these arguments for him that they would for a pop artist, and that Drake's the greatest. He has hits. He's got more slaps than the Beatles. That's his line. That's his line.
One away from Michael Jackson, so beat it.
And so I don't think that Drake would even argue with the fact that he is a pop artist.
Right.
But he can give you bars if he wants to too, though. Like,
sure.
He went out there with Common and everybody knows.
Did he write those though?
No, with Common, like on Stay Scheming, like Common came back and got him.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, and then
he holds his own. He holds his own.
Like,
and I think that's why I'm like, he can be pop and also hip hop and also R&B. Like, I think he's a mix of a multitude of genres.
Yeah.
He knows how to play very well within everything.
But when you're talking about him as an overall artist, Whereas
if you Google Drake, if you Google the best hip hop artist, Drake is number one. Which is
But based on what though?
The internet.
No. But what is the criteria?
Sales,
I don't know.
like
Literally,
sales.
if you literally
How many
search that.
how many times he's gone number one?
It could be, obviously
That's
sales.
what it is. It's his ability to stay relevant and his ability to have a long
That's
career.
why Joe Budden and Matt, like
the
your bro, like
commercializing behind
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And so
Capitalizing off
all
of
of that,
it.
all of that is a pop. He's got more.
all these old heads are mad because at 35, like he's 35, 36, around there, a lot of these artists like Kanye's, Jay's endless, Jay-Z's endless, but like Kanye, like any other big artist, around this time they had slowed down really bad, and like every time there's still big hype every time an album comes out.
Yeah, even though and so that's the point too. Also, is like
Shout out to my dog.
Drake made an album where you've been like, oh, you know what, this is like this is a Drake album like that I'm gonna listen to, or is it? To me, it's been kind of the same over the last few years, maybe since Scorpion. I feel like every Drake album that I listen to is just, oh yeah, this is another Drake album. It doesn't feel like part of like a thing where it's like a hip hop album that like Kendrick Lamar would come out with, or that,
But Kendrick will put an album once every, was it 5 years?
Yeah.
But the consistency of how Drake has been hit after hit after hit.
And that's,
after
to
hit.
me, that's more evident of a pop star than a hip hop artist, to me. And I think he has more in common with like a Taylor Swift than he does a Mos Def or a Yasiin Bey.
So are you saying that hip hop artists don't have consistency or don't know how to build?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what
Because
I feel like
saying-
he is part of a machine that is like that's pushing behind him, and he knows how to work that machine. And to me, that is his greatest asset.
Right.
And that's
He
what makes
knows
him a
how to
great
stay
artist.
relevant.
So-
He knows how to stay relevant, and that's great.
Will you consider Kanye West hip hop artist or a pop artist?
I think Kanye is more of a hip hop artist because
But they still make the
And he finds
same
ways
type
to
of
stay
like
relevant.
they still make the same type of music.
Kanye.
Yeah,
Dude, he did that boop de boop song.
Yeah,
That's
he did
kinda
that
crazy.
to troll. He did that to troll Drake.
Drake. Yeah,
He did that
because
to
Drake wanted that beat.
Kanye's never made an album that sounded the
Kanye's
same.
something
I
else.
can't speak for those last few albums because I haven't listened to it because
That's not. We want the old Kanye.
You want the old Kanye? No, Kanye.
But everything up to Life of Pablo, you can't tell me one album sounds the same.
Hey, the Life of Pablo be
Life of
growing
Pablo's
on me
pretty
every year.
hard.
Dude, I love that album.
I think
love
it might
that
be
album.
top 3. Kanye.
It's not top 3, but it's up there. You can't tell me that like Drake. I couldn't tell you the difference between more. I don't even know the playlist album that he made. What was it called? More Life. Is that what? I don't. I can't
Get your
even tell you.
motherfucking roll on.
It just no,
a good album.
that's not More Life. That's on Scorpion. That's a
Still-
great song. I
Yeah.
like that
Still
song. I like Drake's music, but I agree with what Mos Def is saying in that he's making very commercialized music that has more in common with pop music than it does with hip hop. It's just made in the hip hop form.
I think he can be both, and I think he is both.
Yeah, he is both. Definitely both.
But no, you can't. You have to. If you were to,
He's
Sure.
hip hop.
You know
like, because if you at the end of the day, like if you
He's hip hop.
if you look at his bars, he has bars as well. Like even though people say they wrote him, like all right, like Kanye West, he had writing crews around him, and he's admitted it that he would tell
That's
Pusha
true.
T.
That's
Pusha
true.
T. How do you think? No, you
Kanye,
say,
Ye's making the beats though. He's like has.
but he's considered
more
one of the best hip hop.
artistic. He's more artistic. I wouldn't say Kanye has the best like lyricists of all time. He's not even close.
I'm saying, but like
overall, he's made cohesive albums front to back that Drake has never done. I don't think since maybe Take Care, some of the earlier stuff that he's done that had that kind of hunger, that artistry behind it. Now, like every song sounds the same. Everything sounds homogenized to me over the last few years, and I think that's a big criticism of what Drake has been doing over like recently.
But
And
it's like if it's not broken, like why fix it?
that's the thing. That's the thing, and that's what a pop artist is doing. Yeah.
I think we can agree to disagree and continue this conversation. At any
Like a
other
broken
point.
ankle, I ain't nothing
I
to
think
play
we
with.
both, and that's on
It's
period.
not a good bar. But
Like a
this has
broken
been the
ankle,
Urban Pitch
nothing to
Podcast.
play with.
This has been the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. We appreciate y'all for sticking with us. We got more in tune, more in store for y'all. For Julio and Brigitte, I'm Ramsey Abushala. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
We're out.